Benzinga's NFT show. We've got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about the Otherdeed for Otherside NFT drop that happened this past weekend. One of the biggest NFTs of all time already and part of the Yuga Labs ecosystem. And we're going to be chatting with the co-founders of Metaverse HQ, which is one of the biggest trading and investing communities in the NFT market. So you definitely want to hear what these guys have to say. Don't go anywhere. This is the roadmap. Hey everyone, yeah, as I said, this is the roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show. We're super excited about today's episode because we've got so much to talk about. That huge mint that happened this past weekend that we've been trying to get you prepared for. We're also going to be chatting with Metaverse HQ. Very excited for that, to get some insight from people who know this market so well, which is something we always try to do on this show. But before we get into the interview, I do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. This show is sponsored by FTX US, which is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world in terms of trading volume and daily users. And the FTX app is used by over 6 million people to buy crypto and NFTs. No transaction or withdrawal fees. You can use your phone or computer. And the FTX US trading platform offers NFT trading on both the Ethereum and the Solana blockchains with no gas fees. To find out more, click on the link in the description below and also pinned to the chat. And we'll be talking a little bit more about FTX later on in the show because they do have an exciting mint happening this week that's related to one of the fastest growing sports here in the US. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, I think it is time to bring on my co-host, Benzinga's own Brian Moir. Brian, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, living the dream, being Benzinga's own.
Awesome. Well, I mean, Brian, what a huge weekend, right? We saw Otherdeed for Otherside, which is something we talked about, I mean, at length last week, right? All about Apecoin, Yuga Labs, Bored Apes, Otherside, Codas, everything we could, right? And I mean, it still surpassed, I think, even our wildest expectations of what happened. But we have a special show today because we have Metaverse HQ, which is one of the largest trading and investing communities in the NFT market, here to talk not only about their NFT community, but also about that Otherdeed mint. So I mean, Brian, what do you think?
I'm very excited to get into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of all this stuff going on, because these guys, they have a lot of experience. They know what they're talking about, and it's really interesting to see this side of the deal, because we talk a lot about the collections, about how they look physically, about what we think is rare, and we talk about the utility. We don't talk about investing and using it as I guess your way of currency kind of thing, like how you invest in stocks. We don't talk as much as I think we should, and I think some of our users would like us to, on that side of NFT trading. So I think this is going to be a really good and exciting show for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Super excited. And Brian, I think we have a special treat before we get into the interview.
What?
We haven't had one of these in a little while, but I think we have a trailer for our special guest today. So I think without further ado, it's time to roll that trailer.
Do it. Dang,
oh man, killed it with the trailer again. I know, I was hoping it would keep going, but I mean, we do need to get to our interview, so unfortunately we can't just listen to the trailer all day. But I think it's time to bring on the guys. So I am super excited here from Metaverse HQ, we have founder Jake and marketing lead Jacob. So Jake and Jacob, welcome to the roadmap. How are we doing today?
Howdy, howdy.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
How about that trailer? I hope that kicks things off well here.
Yeah, we might have to steal your graphic designer. I don't know.
I mean, we hope that doesn't happen. We do like our team here. I think it was Kashav, right? Kashav made our trailer. Alyssa, give me a yes. Kashav made our trailer. Alyssa makes them from time to time though too. So we do have a great team here working behind the scenes. I know I didn't make the trailer. The graphics is not my department.
Chris did.
I write and I talk. That's what I do for a living. So I leave the rest to others. But
we've been doing this a lot for other ones, and it's been awesome. I mean, we have each one's been fired. It gets everyone hyped and gets everyone excited. We love it.
Jake and Jacob, I mean, let's dive in here. You know, I tried to hype you guys up and, you know, talk about what Metaverse HQ is, but I know, as Brian said, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of that and the Otherdeed mint that happened. But before we get started, I'm just wondering if you guys can give us some background information on yourself. So I'll start with Jake here. Jake, how did you first get introduced to the crypto and NFT world?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Chris and Brian, for having us on. Super excited to be on here, chat with you guys. Should be a fun time. For myself personally, I discovered it through NBA Top Shot, kind of like a lot of these NFT OGs that first came on board. You know, Top Shot was the onboarding ramp for the rest of us. I'm a huge sports fan. I was big. You know, it was COVID, so I was just sitting at home. And I was betting on sports, you know, because I was bored, just wanted to do stuff. I was doing, you know, DraftKings stuff, and someone who like does DFS, DraftKings stuff, you know, recommended Top Shot to me, and so I thought I'd go and check it out, and then, you know, the rest is kind of history from there. You know, Metaverse HQ itself started as a Top Shot only group for people who were like investing in Top Shot, you know, making trades with Top Shot, and eventually we transitioned, you know, as Top Shot kind of went downhill, we transitioned to see what the rest of the NFT market had for us, and you know, just have been expanding since.
And Jacob, same question for you. Your start in crypto and NFTs prior to Metaverse HQ.
Yeah, so I mean, very similar story to Jake in terms of the Top Shot. I guess to just give a little difference, before that, I started hearing or learning more about crypto, I guess, kind of in 2016. I was doing a internship abroad through my university in New Zealand, and there was like a conference that I went to one day, and they were talking all about blockchain and Bitcoin, and I was like half paying attention, but I was half just like, I'm in a different country, I just want to have fun. So I wish I paid more attention back then, but definitely dove in deep down the rabbit hole, starting with Top Shot. Much like a lot of us, as the kind of gateway drug into NFTs. And then, you know, once I found Metaverse HQ, it was really history from there. That's what, you know, gave me the confidence to quit my job and, you know, the family and community that we have today. And just very thankful to be able to give back as a part of the staff now.
You know, we laugh a little here on the roadmap because that's one of the first questions we always start with. And as you guys probably could expect with your history with NBA Top Shot, Brian, I would say between 80% to 90% of NFT founders or leads for different communities say that NBA Top Shot is where they got their start. So honestly, it's always nice to hear that. And 99%, Brian says. I don't know if I would go that high, but
we've had one episode where I don't think we mentioned Top Shot near the beginning. I think we did include it. I think there may be one episode out of all the roadmap that Top Shot has not been mentioned on. That's about it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
and myself included. You mentioned it being kind of the gateway drug. NBA Top Shot is what I credit as being, you know, my first experience with the NFT market. So I really like that connection. And as Jake said, you know, being a sports fan, that's what led me to Top Shot and, you know, how I got into NFTs. So I am thankful to Dapper Labs and NBA Top Shot, you know, for what it has done for me. Let's dive into MVHQ here. So Jake, you're the founder here. Talk a little bit about how MVHQ now is the premier community for NFT traders and investors. And for those who aren't familiar, how does a membership with MVHQ kind of work?
Yeah, for sure. So I think where I kind of our power and prestige, if you will, I guess, comes from is the community itself that we have been able to thankfully build and foster as we grown. We started out as, like I said, the Top Shot group, but it wasn't a paid group at the time. It was just kind of like a closed Discord of people with similar interests, and we would only bring in people who wanted to help the rest of the group, who are willing to help the rest of the group, no matter what their skill set was. So I think that's something that we tried to do as we expanded into, into actually selling keys that grant access to our community. And since then, it's really just been a culture of members helping each other, sharing information with one another, and that's really encouraged a lot of big time traders to not only be formed within MVHQ, but stay and help the rest of the members as well. Like they are a member, just like a fellow person who would buy a key today if they wanted to, but they freely help out. It's not just the staff that is contributing to the value of MVHQ. It's everyone involved. Polling is a team effort. We really kind of preach the whole thing of, if everyone in the community has different skill set, so there's lawyers, there's accountants, there's people who are great developers. And if everyone, shares their expertise in a certain skill set, then it makes the, all the parts greater than, the whole greater than, the parts. So.
Love that.
Yeah.
Jacob, so you came along, as the marketing lead. So you hit on it a little bit in your intro there, but what was it, that really led you, within already being, active in MVHQ to, get involved in a bigger role per se here and really see the growth of the company moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a special place. And I think you can instantly, feel that and get a sense of that if you just join, pop into the voice chat. That's where everyone is. The old running joke was that, general chat was dead. No one can go there. Like the poor souls in general chat are NGMI. But everyone in voice chat, that's, where we have the 24/7 chat. We got 97 people in there right now, and it goes pretty much 24/7 because we are a global community. So yeah, I mean, it's just such a great group of individuals, and I just really wanted a chance to give back. I saw the opportunity to, what Metaverse HQ can become, what it already has became. And I really just needed to be a part of it. I felt it, in my soul. I've hated pretty much every job I've ever had in my life. So this is the first one where I'm just, super excited to wake up every day, love everyone that I'm working with. And, I can honestly say Metaverse HQ and Jake have changed my life in so many ways. And yeah, I'm just excited to continue to help it grow.
Awesome. Well, Jacob, I won't make you name any of those employers that you had before, because that could be a whole different conversation. But I'm excited to hear that for you, to have a job in a place, where you're excited every day. That's what I feel here at Benzinga, talking about stocks, talking about NFTs. So I can definitely feel that after working some jobs I would rather not talk about as well. Jake, can you talk a little bit about the size of the team, right? So you founded MVHQ. How many people now work with you to manage this community of 1,300 premium members?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. It seems like we're growing a new person every day. I couldn't tell you the exact number at the moment right now, but it's about 30 plus probably. Yeah.
It's got to be close to 30 at this point.
Yeah, I would assume so. I think we have a full marketing team, we have a full dev team, we have a full mod team, we have the administration, we have a partnerships team, a content team. We have a lot of people working under the house, kind of to deliver value for our members. And most of them, most of the people on the team, the vast majority were members of our community first, so they understand really what the community is about, and we've had a lot of great reception of members wanting to work for us, wanting to give back and contribute. So it's been really awesome to be able to kind of give those opportunities out as well.
Awesome.
Well, I kind of wanted to highlight, you just mentioned it, I think, briefly, but wanted to highlight the 24-hour voice chat you guys have going on. And can you explain a little bit more what that is and why it's so important and special to your guys' group?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the culture and the community that we fostered. So, early on in the days, we didn't have, we might have had a voice chat, or we were kind of one of the suggestions. I don't want to take credit for it, but I did write in the suggestions channel early on that we need a voice chat, because I just like talking to people. It's kind of like the gamer in me, just being able to socialize and do that. And I remember the first time we did it, we jumped in for like some hyped mints, back in August in the summer days. There was 40 mints a day, and 39 of them were cooks. 39 of them were profitable. So it was a pretty crazy time, and there was a lot of like very delicate information that was time sensitive that you need to go over in terms of, is it delayed? Is there an exploit? This random news pops up. And that's really what the voice chat is all about, is being able to get that information right at the source when it's happening, and have that like genuine discussion, be able to see the tones of people's voices and the intricate details of like conversation, as opposed to, just a text message where you really don't get a sense for what's actually being said. So it lets us have a lot more in-depth conversations. And then going back to the culture point of it, like it's the most polite, like well-mannered voice chat I've ever been a part of in my life. Like people are almost too polite, where it's like gets annoying at some points. But no, it's just crazy. It just goes to show, like, props to a lot of the people who started early, like JJ and Connor. Jake can probably talk about it more, but it's been beautiful to see us be able to maintain that.
Yeah, no, well said. And just to give you an example, like if there is a hyped up drop for like Otherside, then we will go dark, is what we call it, where the radio, it's basically radio silence on the voice chat. And we have specific people calling out, how many pendings are going through on the contract. Has the contract gone live yet? They'll only give, relevant info for the drop. So it's easier for people to follow along in real time if they don't have 5 different tabs open on their computer. It's honestly a beautiful thing. I think that shows like the true value of our voice chat when it's game time and the mint is on the line and we have to execute fast. Our voice chat really gets it done.
Yeah, and talking about example, I think we're going to get into more later with the Otherside and the Otherdeeds. Like that was a perfect example of like MVHQ at its finest. I think we had close to like 600 people in the voice chat at one time, and there wasn't really anyone talking over each other at any point. Everyone's telling each other to like stay calm. We've got breakout sessions where people to like troubleshoot, like if my mint's stuck or if MetaMask is acting up or if the website's not loading. And, people are giving like specific technical advice to individuals who are having issues, and then coming back into the main chat. And it's crazy, all the coordination that happens.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions, was what was it like during the Otherside mint? But you kind of already explained that, and for sake of time, we'll move on. But I do have one question. And this can be really short. This can be just like, the project name. But what are some, like, I guess, standout moments or really special moments in the voice chat that helped you guys find some winning, winning mints or winning flips or anything like that. Just some like really important moments in the voice chat history so far.
I've got one that comes to mind. Do you have one that you want to mention, Jake?
Well, honestly, like the first thing that comes to mind is the Otherdeed one, because that was a pretty amazing moment in our history.
You can
had
that if you want to.
just to just go back on it. So we had people who weren't even participating in the drop, but they offered to help troubleshoot and help people with gas questions. Because it was a huge gas war. A lot of people had issues getting their transactions through. So we had people who weren't even participating in the drop, but they just wanted to help out the rest of the community. So they would go into a different voice channel. We call it troubleshooting. And then people would come down, ask their gas questions, and they'd get their transaction unstuck for them. And we had 3 different troubleshooting channels separate from the main channel where people were dropping down, getting their transactions through. And I think through doing that, we had probably at least 20 or 30 people who would have not been able to mint from the Otherdeed drop, just because other members stepped up to help them out. And it was a really amazing thing. Like in all of Metaverse HQ, I don't think there was anyone who had the money to mint that wasn't actually able to mint just from all the help and the cooperation from the community throughout that drop.
That is a massive win. I mean, we talked to a lot of people on this show about the community within projects, and I mean, I just got to say that my hat's off to you guys for having a community that, like you said, could help people who were going to see failed transactions actually get their mint, and really the education there. So I just want to say that that's amazing to hear, on our end here.
Yeah. A couple other like great points in history for us. I think Seth, shout out to you in the text chat right now, piping in, but he was saying that mutants was a good one. So the mutant drop, I think Jake actually called that out and was one of the first people to like find the mint page. That was huge, just being able to hop on that, and was obviously, extremely profitable. Anonymize was another one, which is like a stealth drop. That's kind of like a degen mint or a night crew mint, which was a really fun thing to go through, and very innovative at the time. And then one that I personally have a strong connection to was the Sin City, which is now Mobland ARG stuff. So different puzzle competitions that MVHQ was actually able to solve first, which was a very proud moment. And then my personal favorite, not to go on too long, but there was the Little Heroes drop, which was, I'm not sure how much you guys know about that, but there was a backdoor, I don't know what you'd call it specifically, but they basically had a friends and family mint that would let you mint 50. And they also had a whitelist. So there was the whitelist that was for like, kind of the general public, but, a little bit tiered down. And I was lucky enough to win one of those whitelists. But one of our members, who it was a contract whiz, was actually able to find out that they used the same key or the same password for the whitelist for the friends and family mint. So if you were on whitelist, you basically had access to that without knowing, which is something that, no one would ever know unless they were really good at reading Solidity and smart contracts. Like, I mean, even the team that wrote the contract didn't know, right? Or they, mistakenly put it in there. And, that led to a lot of our members, myself included, being able to mint, 50 extra NFTs that were selling for, a 5X on secondary instantly. So it's just incredible, profits, incredible fortunes that you can, have come out of seemingly nothing, as long as you're just active and dedicated and participating in the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that both of you guys are Bored Ape Yacht Club holders. So we kind of want to see your opinion on the Otherdeed drop as a whole. We can be brief on this because we do have a lot more questions to go over, but I wanted to see your guys' thoughts. Your thoughts on the Otherdeeds drop as a whole, of the land sale being the biggest NFT drop, in the history, being one of the most hyped projects in the history of NFTs, crypto in general, and then also what are your thoughts on Apecoin as a whole? Like, do you see more utility and more the price action fluctuating a lot more now that the Otherdeeds, the land sale is done? Do you think we're going to continue this dip, or do you think we're going to see a rise and kind of a more of a horizontal pattern than the up and down that usually comes with crypto now that one of the biggest utilities for Apecoin has now been released? Threw a lot at you.
Yeah. I'll start with the first part about the sale. It was while it was profitable for obviously the people who minted for the most part. It was pretty disappointing to see how it went down. It seems like Yuga really thought that they were gonna get around this gas war by doing it in 2 waves. In my opinion, I think they should have either done limited it to 1 per wallet, so we didn't have this massive gas war.
Yeah,
they should have found out
it.
a different way of doing it.
Yeah, they said we should have had a lot,
right.
but we screwed up. So hopefully we'll see that in the future, though, and give it more utility too.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really disappointing to see. I mean, what was it, like $100 million that was burnt in gas? That's all money that's going out of the NFT ecosystem for the most part, and money that people could have used for other things. So it was something that could have been prevented, especially when they made us, KYC as well, which I'm not a fan of being. Hopefully that doesn't become the norm for mints, because it was pretty useless that it ended up doing it because it was a gas war anyway. But I don't know. It was pretty disappointing to see from someone who is the leader in the space, as Yuga is. I think a lot of people have shared that sentiment. If you go on Twitter, there's a lot of people that fudded Yuga pretty bad, and I think it was well worth it in my opinion. And while I am grateful for, obviously, I mean, I have an ape, so I got Ape Land, and that's it's free money, right? But I still want the NFT space in general to do well, and like these type of mints, I think, kind of set it back, especially when it's coming from what's supposed to be like the leader, the beacon of what to do right with your project in Yuga Labs. It was kind of disappointing in all overall.
Yeah, I think I echo those similar sentiments. Yuga's always been very tight-lipped and don't like to share a lot of things until after the fact. So, it's just putting a lot of trust in them, which has been, rewarded so far. But no one's immune to criticism. No one's too big to fail. So. Just a bit of a gut check every now and then and reality check, but hopefully we get some cool announcements soon. And I mean, the website, I would say the positive thing was, the website worked pretty flawlessly throughout the whole drop and reveal process, which is something that, shouldn't be like the hardest thing in the world to do since we've kind of mastered that in Web 2 for the most part. But it has been a big struggle for a lot of these NFT drops. So I will give them credit there, but definitely agree with Jake overall.
Yeah, no, I love those comments coming from you guys, and this is something I spoke to with some other Benzinga employees earlier today. I don't own a Bored Ape. I obviously know Yuga Labs, write about Yuga Labs all the time, but to me, I kind of like seeing the criticism and the call outs that they got from people who are in the ecosystem and own the NFTs. This was supposed to be a drop that was supposed to bring, new people into the ecosystem. But the way it was done, the huge gas war, I think it really got a lot of people from actually getting in. So, I appreciate the sentiment here. And, I think it's warranted and called for that, Yuga Labs is facing a little bit of, FUD and criticism on such a hyped mint. And, that's not to say that there weren't positives, but, overall, hopefully, we say next time that, things may improve. I want to circle back quick to the troubleshooting that you guys did, within the voice chat, within the Discord. We have a Benzinga employee that told me this, and I wasn't aware of it, so I just want to get a little bit here, that you guys actually announced that you'll be rewarding 7 members who went above and beyond during the troubleshooting process. Can you just give us a little bit of background on that? Why is it important to kind of highlight these members within the Discord that helped out so many other community members during this huge event?
Yeah, I think that's something that we've always really tried to do is make sure people are rewarded for the effort that they give to go above and beyond. So, we did a special announcement thanking these people. We did a cool little one of our members did an awesome little video, kind of hype video, thanking them as MVHQ heroes. And we also gave them a special role in the Discord, and we gave them each an allow list spot for an upcoming mint as well that they can utilize. And that's just something we try to do, is recognize the people in our community, show them that we see what you're doing. We see, the hard work that you're putting in, how gracious you are with your time and effort to help our members. So we want to give back to them as well. A lot of these people don't do these acts in expectation that they're going to receive any type of reward. They just do it because they want to help out the community. So, and we love that. We want to, at least give them a little something for that. And it kind of just goes in with our philosophy. Every month we have an MVP in our community that we have the community vote on. Basically, the member who did the most in this past month to go above and beyond for the rest of the community, and we make a special announcement for them. We have one member who actually makes a rap for them, a little freestyle in their honor, which is pretty cool. And then we also give them, an MVP role and then an ETH reward as well. So it's just something that we've always really tried to done is highlight those people who are really just helping out the rest of the community and doing the most for everyone else.
Yeah, you can see the little video playing now, actually.
Yeah, I love this, guys. Great way to reward these community members who helped out. And as you said, it's not like they expected this, but to go above and beyond to help out people, especially during such a hyped mint. And I mean, as we're seeing on the screen, the failed transactions, the gas, everything that was encountered. So, I mean, this is awesome. So, I mean, we tried to give you guys a hype trailer to start, but whoever made this, we might need to try to steal them instead. So, but this is sweet.
We won't tell you the name.
Yeah, I guess I'm at a disadvantage there. So
no. I'll shout out DGenZ.
Yeah.
I'll shout out DGenZ. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. So awesome. Well, one of the things we like to show, and probably related to the fact that the show is called the Roadmap, is kind of what's next. So Metaverse HQ has had great success. But I was just wondering if you can share a little bit, on what members of the community and people outside looking in can expect. Are there plans to increase the number of passes, the number of members in the community? Any future plans that you can talk about here for MVHQ?
Yeah, so we don't really, in terms of number of members in the community, that's not really something we are looking to increase by that much, or really if at all. We haven't really released official details on our next mint for 2023 because we're kind of just fixing up the last few things before we do that. But we want to grow as a community, but we don't really want to grow as number size because it has kind of a negative effects when you're sharing alpha throughout a community. It dilutes the value of that alpha and information if there's more and more people who are seeing it. It also kind of makes it harder to rein in the culture that we have when there's more people involved in the community as well. So we really like the number that we're at right now. but what we are planning to do as we go out is increase the value that we can give to our members. Increase the benefits that come with having a Metaverse HQ pass. We've done so over the course of time. We didn't used to have allow list, for example. We didn't used to give away these allow lists for our members, and now we probably give away the highest quality allow lists, in my opinion, than any other project does, because we have a well-engineered partnerships team that we almost run like a sales team in a way, that goes out and gets these allow lists. Shout out Mitch, one of our admins, our head of marketing and strategic partnerships, for forming that team and leading that on. Yeah, there he is right there. That beautiful man.
Mitch getting the shout out live on the show and his Twitter profile. So
beautiful.
Follow there.
Yeah, follow Mitch. But yeah, so that's just an example of something that we didn't have as a benefit before. But we're constantly, every decision that we make is with the community in mind, and we don't have this set roadmap that maybe a lot of projects do, and that's for a specific reason. Is a couple of reasons. One, we don't want to get front run by other communities. There's a lot of communities that look at what we do and then copy us. We were the first alpha community to really start and sell a pass in the entire NFT space, and since then we've been looking to be the leaders, and a lot of communities have kind of copied our model in a way. So we don't want to kind of give away info until we're ready to, for a lot of things. And then another reason is we want to adapt to what the market is. The NFT space is so new. We want to go to where the opportunities are for our members. We don't want to get stuck into a plan that in maybe 3 months it doesn't really make sense anymore. Like if maybe we want to build, if we wanted to build an estate in the metaverse in Decentraland, for example, 6 months ago, that wouldn't really make sense anymore because no one uses Decentraland, right? So we don't want to get super stuck into a specific plan. We want to adapt, and we prefer to kind of drop news as a surprise benefit to our members that they weren't expecting, in terms of saying, hey, we're going to do this, and then a bunch of other communities do the same thing before we're able to get it out. Or yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know one question that we did have earlier, and I know you probably can't go into too much, but maybe just if it's been considered. But we did see Proof Collective launch a PFP for their holders. Has that been a consideration at all to do a PFP of sorts for the 1,300 community members? I'm not sure if you guys can share, but maybe just has it been a consideration at all?
Yeah, we've gotten that request many times. It is something we considered. It's definitely not off the table. We may do it in the future. It's just how we do it is kind of something we're working through. But it's definitely a possibility. But no concrete plans as of right now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that we'd love to do, but it's so important and such a pivotal thing that we'd be tied to, for the rest of time on the blockchain, that if we are going to do it, we have to make sure that it's the most perfect thing ever, and that our community feels represented by it, right? Because, we are very proud in offering a safe space for, any type of person, whether it's underrepresented in the NFT space. There aren't a lot of females in the space right now, and we're pretty proud that we hopefully garner a space that they feel comfortable in. We have a couple female on the staff as of now that absolutely crush it, like Meg, our engagement manager, who is a Swiss Army knife and does everything. You can see her PFP right there. But she handles a lot of the consultation side of things. And, we want to make sure that everyone feels represented, because right now a lot of the PFP projects are very heavy male, gender centric.
Awesome. Brian, I think over to you here.
Sorry, I was keeping my mic muted because I keep on getting the reverb. But I wanted to kind of touch on Twitter Spaces a little bit with you. At Benzinga here, we do quite a bit of Twitter Spaces. I personally also host quite a handful of them, and we have different departments doing different ones. And we think that it's more than it's invaluable and very important to keep your community engaged and interact with them. And Twitter Spaces is probably the best way to do so. Why do you guys think that Twitter Spaces is important, and what are some that do you guys hold them regularly? How do you guys handle them?
Yeah, I can maybe take that one. So Twitter Spaces have been pretty critical to NFTs for some time now. I would say maybe even more so when things were more spread out or people were still kind of figuring out their lay of the land. So, I mean, I would say Twitter in general is, the #1 space for NFTs. I didn't even really know anything or use Twitter at all until NFTs. And now it's all I use. I used to be a huge Redditor, haven't touched that site in months, almost a year at this point, just because I'm so focused on Twitter. And Twitter Spaces are great just because they let us, give a platform to a lot of our partners and give our members and, the general public, if it is a Twitter Spaces, access to those teams that they wouldn't normally have access to ask the hard-hitting questions. One thing that we really pride ourselves on as well is, we're not going to hold back our opinions or, anything negative that might be about the project or something that we see as a potential concern. And our partners actually find that very refreshing, which is weird because you're telling them, something bad or bad news, but it's something that they often don't hear from a lot of other groups who are, just looking to make a quick profit and don't really care that much about the project or the founders long term. That's totally against our ethos. We're very much about, we have a heavy vetting process, and anyone who does make it on our partnership list, it's a very coveted spot. And we're looking for those long-term partners that are building to stay and looking to educate and innovate and bring new people into the space. And Twitter Space is just a great platform to, explore that with them while providing a lot of value and education to our members. And we also do in-house office hours in our Discord. So that's an even more intimate setting where you can screen share and really, really give honest feedback real time with the founders of these, great projects.
Awesome. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. That's perfect. How about, can you guys give us a little bit of advice for new projects that are wanting to maybe partner with you guys?
Yeah. So in terms of wanting to partner with us, the advice I would give is definitely go to our website, MVHQ.io, and then we have a partnerships page. We're still building out so we're going to add that slide deck in there and make it a little bit more user friendly. Right now, it's that Notion page that was pulled up earlier, and that's where you can look at a lot of the kind of requirements that we have. We like to partner with projects that are already on the right track and they don't need us to succeed, right? Because we don't want to be the market makers. We don't want to be the reason a project mints out, even though oftentimes, people track our wallets and they'll see us minting these stealth mints at 3 a.m. And then, that obviously is a signal for a lot of people to kind of copy trade and come in. But for our more formal partnerships, we really want to make sure that they're already successful enough on their own and we believe in the team. So there are a bunch of metrics here that we look at in terms of social media, growth, engagement, and these are good things to aim for, just as any project going up, and good things as investors to look at the projects and actually vet, is this something worth spending my time trying to get a whitelist on, or looking to invest in? Is the community actually there? Is the engagement real? And these are some really heavy signals for us, and something that we use to evaluate our partners before deciding to partner. And then there is a form at the bottom of this for you to actually formally apply. And that's when our partnerships team, Chrissy right now is kind of heading that up. He will look through all these applications, discuss them internally with the team. And that's kind of how we decide if we'd like to move forward. From there, we just go in. Usually it's Mitch, myself, and Meg. And now we have a couple new members on the team, Sean, who is our media relations manager, and Poppy, who is our social media manager. And we'll just kind of discuss the partnership from a holistic level, learn more about, what are their long-term vision, goals, who's on their team, everything like that. That's where we'll kind of solidify our belief in the project or not, and discuss, what cool long-term activations that we can do in terms of, whether that's co-branding. You saw a lot of our, co-branded assets on the previous deck, or, different allow list partnerships, different AMAs, different demos and feedback sessions, things like that, we can provide value back and forth for a number of months.
Awesome. I mean, you guys have so much going on within the Metaverse HQ ecosystem. Love the growth you've had and what you've brought to the table here. And again, the education, the connecting with community, and also partnering with so many other projects and platforms. We're running out of time here, so let's do a little bit of overtime here and a little bit of rapid fire. So I'm going to ask some I think trading related questions. So I think this is the point of the show where we, of course, say that this is not financial advice and just educational purposes. But I'll try to read a question here, and then we'll let each of you answer it. So, obviously we have seen volume in NFTs soar. So what do you think we continue to see higher volume throughout 2022, or are we going to flatline for the rest of the year? Start with Jake here.
Yeah, I think honestly right now we are at a point where it's pretty elevated and inflated in terms of prices on a lot of these things. I don't think it's super sustainable where we are right now. I think we could definitely go higher. I'm not going to try and call the top by any means. But I do think we have a period here probably within 2022 where we see a pretty decent market correction on a lot of these things. It's just, there's so many projects where the floor of it is, if you compare it to, real US dollars here, like the floor is over, 30K, 50K, 100K. I just don't think that's super sustainable, especially as more projects come out, more supply comes out. You need that new demand to come in. So, personally, I think we can expect a correction here within 2022.
Jacob, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a little nervous just of the overall market sentiment. Crypto is kind of going down a little bit, just kind of shaky. I mean, I think one, you could tweet a couple MetaMask airdrops, a Genie airdrop, whatever. Like a lot of things can happen that'll, be like, all right, just kidding, bull market, like everything's up. But I mean, you can't predict that sort of thing. So I think it's always good to be cautious, and then it's just a good reminder to take profits when you have them.
Great point. We flip from Yuga Labs and Otherdeed, the more expensive side of things, to the lower side. Any call out on a NFT trading below 0.25 ETH right now that you think maybe is a good long-term project? Jake?
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Jake?
Oh man, you put me on the spot on this one. One that I really like. I don't know if it's going to be some huge profit for you, but I really like some of these play to earn games. And Crypto Raiders is one of my favorites. It's actually on Polygon, so no gas fee, so that's always nice. But I think you can get a Raider right now for like 0.01, and you can play the game. You can go through like a dungeon, earn items, and sell those items for their native currency as well. So that's a good one if you want to get in cheap. Try it out. I really love the team there. They give all their profits back, put all their profits back into building their ecosystem. So, that's one of my favorites at the cheaper end.
Jacob.
Yeah, that's a staple in Jake's book for sure, and definitely one I wish I had listened to him on earlier, because they've absolutely crushed it, for sure. I mean, I'm just trying to think what would pump my bags the most. What's the best NFT? But no, I mean, uh, it's a tough call. People in the chat are telling me to shout out the Quacky Ducks. I think those are pretty cool, but time will tell, I guess, what their value is long term. And they're pretty cheap entry price. I've been a fan of Star Catchers for a little while,
There we go.
but that has my portfolio has not been a fan of them in terms of the price action there. But I mean, it seems like a solid price. I really do like the art. I was pretty bullish on the team to begin with, so it's kind of just up to them to deliver at this point. Kind of just holding my breath, but yeah, I wouldn't say like I'm not investing anymore. I've already got enough for me, so I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. But yeah, that's a project that I hope does well moving forward.
Awesome. Yeah, we did a NFT bracket challenge for March Madness, and Star Catchers, they seem to have a decent community, because I think they actually ended up in like the Elite Eight or Final Four, despite being like a double-digit seed. But that was a bracket for fun, anyways. What is your? I'll go outside of Yuga Labs, since we talked so much at Yuga Labs today. What is your favorite blue chip NFT pick to outperform the market the rest of 2022?
Easiest question ever.
Jake.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at my photo right here.
There you go.
It's Azuki all the way for me. I'm like a huge Azuki maxi. I love what they're doing. I love their ethos. I love that they put community first. I love the art. It's my favorite art for a profile picture. I love the connections that they have. I think it's the project that I'm by far the most I think bullish on in the space right now. And they've seen a nice run up recently. They got a beans reveal here in a couple days. But yeah, it's definitely Azuki for me.
Jacob.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I was kind of an Azuki hater at first, just because I missed it, and I was like, I mean, I was planning on buying back in. I was going to buy the dip, but there just was no dip like to like 10 ETH, which was just crazy to me. But I mean, I guess the art speaks for itself. Everyone, even I love the art. It looks great. I bought in, maybe around 10 ETH, and I'm sticking with that. And yeah, I'm definitely very bullish on them as well. I think it's kind of Yuga and Azuki, and don't really see anyone else in sight at the moment.
Awesome. 2 more questions here before we wrap, guys. You mentioned some of these 3 a.m. events, the voice chat, the call outs. What's been your favorite degen mint of the past year? So a project that you had very low expectations on that actually blew up, and you were surprised that you ended up with a profit or a great entry point. Jake?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. It's probably Fanta Bears for me. Was the one that really popped off. I actually, it was on New Year's Eve night, and I was gonna go to a party in Chicago, but then I ended up getting COVID, so I stayed home, and it ended up being good for my wallet, that's for sure, because I minted a bunch of these Fanta Bears. They were, this Asian-based project. I think everything like on their site was in a different language, and I didn't know a ton about them, but I sent it, and it ended up being some big, singer there, Jay Chow, endorsed them at a point, and they really just ran up huge from what the mint price was. So that was a big win for, everyone in MVHQ on New Year's Eve who wasn't out partying, ended up actually making some money out of it. So that was a really fun one.
That sounds awesome. Jacob?
Yeah, that was a fun night for sure. My initial thought was anonymized, just because that was such an OG mint. But people reminded me about Ghazali, which I unfortunately missed because I was time rugging myself with, it was really a crazy story. We'll have to have another talk about it sometime. But Ghazali is definitely one of the historic moments in MVHQ history. Insane just what happened that night in terms of life-changing things to people in other countries.
All right, and last question here, and I know you guys probably don't want to answer this, but it's a fun one. We all have that hidden folder on OpenSea. Jake, what's something that's in your hidden folder?
Oh God. Pixel mechas.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
So pixelized mechaverse.
Pixel mechas.
That
I'm sure
completely
those are
loved it.
worth a lot of money right now, right?
Yeah, those are probably negative money. I probably have to pay.
Yeah.
They never ended up revealing, so it was a huge rug. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Whoops.
You win some, you lose some. Jake, what's in your hidden folder?
Yeah, so I'm looking through it now. Pixel Mechas is a great one. I don't know how that one failed, honestly. I was so bullish on that. But House of Goblins has to be my number one hidden folder gem. House of Goblins for sure. That was
Nice.
a crazy ride.
Awesome. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. We're out of time, but we'd love to have you back on a future episode, and maybe we could do a live mint together or something, and show off what MVHQ is all about. But for anyone who doesn't know Metaverse HQ, you can find the links in the description below, including how you can get into that Discord, how you can follow Jake and Jacob both on Twitter. So Jacob, thank you so much for taking time, out of your day and joining us on the roadmap. And we look forward to talking real soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Benzinga, for having us on. Much appreciated. It was a lot of fun.
It always is. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, thank you all so much. We'd love to come back. And I know Mitch is feeling huge FOMO right now, so you guys got to get him.
Mitch. All right. Well, we follow Mitch on Twitter now from the Benzinga account. I follow him from mine. So Mitch, yeah, next time we'll have to have you on as well. So the more the merrier. So guys, this was great, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you guys on. Maybe we can do a Twitter space soon.
Oh, and Twitter Spaces, we can sit
there
on
we
Twitter
go.
Spaces. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to pull Jake and Jacob off the screen. Brian, holy cow. That was so much fun. So much information. I really like the rapid fire questions there at the end. Hearing about some of these, yeah, we should. Some of these projects under point 2, what project are you most bullish on? I mean, that hidden folder question. That was great.
Project. I'll have to look into it. It sounds like it's just a big rug.
I mean, I don't know if I would want to share, all my hidden folder projects as well. So hats off to Jake and Jacob for sharing those. Brian, we're out of time. We've got a show tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I know we're going to be going through news and headlines. I did just want to preview, hey, we started this interview talking about NBA Top Shot, right? And connecting sports to the NFT market. And I know one project that I'm excited about this week is coming from our sponsors, FTX. They're actually doing Formula One NFTs. So there is a huge race this weekend here in the US, the Miami Grand Prix. And you have a chance to actually bid on an auction where you will own a NFT from Lewis Hamilton's car. And you'll actually get the physical piece from the car. So you don't just get the NFT. Not the whole car, Brian. That would be amazing. I wonder what shipping costs would be on that. But you get a piece of the car. And that's pretty sweet to say that. And it's the car that he drove in the Miami Grand Prix. I mean, that would be pretty sweet to flex on people and say that you own the Lewis Hamilton NFT and you own a piece of the real car. So stay tuned, because tomorrow we're going to share the details on how you can get in on the regular mint of the NFTs and also how you can bid on the auction. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to do it for us today. Take care, everyone, and stay tuned. Pre-market prep at the close coming up soon, where they will break down all the news and headlines for stock and crypto today. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you real soon.
Get a free trial pro.